when you search for field notes on eBay because you're looking for a bargain for the National Parks Series Set D or whatever you might be looking for, this book will come up in the UK. I've seen it a few times and I just passed on by it, and then I decided last week that I would buy it, and I just thought I'd just give you a little bit of a review of this book and maybe a bit of a commentary or a comment, or I don't know what the word is, a commentary if you like, on these words, field notes. I think we all just think of them as these notepads. I don't know how many people have gone into a little bit more depth to find out where does the word come from. It's not just a brand name like Apple or Google. Actually, the word field notes is born out of something. And field notes, if you Google it, I'm just going to read one thing here off the internet. And this is a link on a US educational website, something to do with a writing project or something. And it says here, what is the purpose of a field notebook? A field notebook is simply your record of what you see. This may include data, observations, as well as sketches, photos, and any other information you decide to record. The goal of a field notebook is to dive deeper than just noting what you see and creating a learning experience. There's one interpretation. The one that comes further up in the UK, where I am at the moment, is what is a field note? Field notes are the researcher's documentation of events, conversations and behaviours observed in the field, and the researcher's reflections on them. So that's where this term comes from, and you will probably find loads of scientific papers and researchers and historians have written field notes. And I don't know if this is news to anybody, but yeah, it's not just a brand. It's a thing. It's a way of doing something. And this book, for me, sort of epitomizes it and sums it all up. As I said, this was coming up when I was searching for field notes on eBay and such, and I decided actually last week to pick it up. Now, this is from a publisher called Unbound, and it's a crowd-funded publisher, so I guess that means that a bit like a Kickstarter in order to get books made. So I don't know the details, but that's kind of by the by here. The main thing is what this is and what it represents to me. And this represents to me what I would really, I think, love to be doing in these. At the moment, I'm doing some habit tracking. I'm writing ideas for videos like this one. I'm making some notes called morning pages, which I'm trying to do a kind of a journaling kind of thing. So I'm trying to get into different ways of writing, and I'm really enjoying it. And yeah, I've got lots of different things. I've got one where I'm just writing some quotes down and stuff like that. So there's lots of things that I'm using these for. But this to me is the ultimate, if you like. So Maxim Peter Griffin. First of all, let's just stop. What a cool name. He produced this piece of art, I think, is the best way to describe it, because this is a year in Lincolnshire. It's a year starting in October, which I think is interesting to start with, because most people like to think of a journal or a book starting in an obvious place like January. Well, this one starts in October, and it goes through the whole year and then October again. And in here there are paintings, drawings and random words. And as he says in a video, there's a video on the Unbound YouTube channel where he talks about what the words are and what the pictures are. And
if I was in Kenya, I'd be drawing Kenya. If I was in Brazil, I'd be drawing Brazil, but I'm not. I'm in Lincolnshire, so I've got to use it. The book is going to be, they're like field notes, presented to you like a graphic novel, but with blocks of text which kind of reflect the internal monologue of what's happening whilst you're out at Saltfleet at 5 o'clock in the morning. The text, it's not poetry, it's not prose. They go together, kind of the roughness of the drawings and the unfinishedness of the text. This is a sort of forensic interpretation of a landscape.
Zoom in a bit. The very first entry in this book doesn't really make any sense. First light over Lincolnshire. The woods to the west of town are approaching the best bit of the year. Mist on the bypass, an orange bread truck passing through, tiny spiders eating each other on the stile and the barbed wire. Got a trudge on, a couple of nights off, top of the wolds, cops for pheasants wired off, old boots starting to let the damp in, still a bit mild for coat, walking cold is best, red nettles, and so on. There are some sections that maybe make a little more sense, some slightly longer passages, but generally what you have here are lists of observations of things that are seen on particular days, all kind of punctuated with a hyphen. From the edge in to the hills, 8 miles give or take, not far, not long, you can walk it easy enough. On older maps they used the more poetic outmarsh, iron flat, herringboned, and ditches and dikes and thin meanders. I really like it, but I like it because of the drawings, the pictures as well. It's kind of has this graphic novel kind of feel to it, especially, you know, these kind of triptych sort of pages. They seem to be like a storyboard. That's not what they are, but do you know what I mean? It's they have a kind of a storyboard, graphic novel kind of feel to it. It's really fascinating. It's really nice. It's really nicely presented. Just enough balance between pictures and words. And while he says that it's not poetry, I think some of it really feels quite poetic. What is this? Walk to night shift, slowly into autumn. Trout still in the river, flicking about trout style. Kid on a bike shouts something. Lawn mower ambient, somewhere that raging glory. He says this is not poetry, but this is poetic. This is really nice stuff. I really like it. If you want to get this book, here it is. Field Notes, Walking the Territory, Maxim, Peter Griffin. There's an ISBN number. I'll put all the details in the description below. So that's Field Notes by Maxim, Peter Griffin. I really like it. It's something that I'd like to try and get to. I'd like to be able to produce something like this, not be published, but I'd like to be able to look back at my field notes and see something along these lines, something that I can just kind of hand down or whatever. I don't know. I'm feeling sort of kind of a romantic gesture here, but I love the idea that it has this random selection of words and pictures, and I'm writing stuff. I'm drawing as well. I'm just kind of learning a few different techniques, trying to find a style that suits me in some ways. But I'm doing stuff, and this is more inspiration, I think. So take a look. I'll put all the ISBN info below so you can search for it if you like. But that's Field Notes for you.